Hey, what is up, everyone? My name is Jesse. This is the Auditorium, and I react to video game music as a musician myself. This is the return of Etrian Odyssey 3. Those that slay and fall, plus this super arranged version. This is requested on Patreon by Lord Daddy. Big fan of this series. I've never played it, but I've had a couple of songs from it. This is composed by Yuzo Koshiro, which I'm a huge fan of. So let's just get right into it. A little 2-for-1 special. Those that slay and fall. First reaction of the day, and we're starting off with some energy. Real drums. Real drums and synth. It's like picking back up. That was a cool little halftime thing. Sounds very like early 90s to me. Capcom sounding, Sega sounding almost, Sega Genesis. It's interesting to hear real drums with this kind of sound though. Usually it's MIDI. It's catchy, cool melody. Very simple melody. Uptime. So much bass in his songs. The bass reminds me of Sonic. That kind of like bouncy, boing bass. This is cool. Very arcade sound. Like I think of like an arcade like at the movie theaters or the mall from the 90s. And this is the kind of music you'd be hearing. On to the super arranged version, which I'm not gonna lie, I'm looking forward to quite a bit. Let's go. Yeah. Now it sounds like a Marvel vs. Capcom game. Essentially the exact same thing. It's now a real bass guitar and a real electric guitar. Never mind. It's totally different now. Okay, yeah, that's saucy. Ooh, electric guitar and saxophone. That's something you don't hear often. Oh man, these super arranges are so... I mean, I hate to say it, but like they're so much better, honestly. It's like the song at its full potential. Woo! God. What an incredible instrument, bro. Oh, the electric guitar's coming back. I think. Oh, that was cool. It followed the rhythm. Wow. I think saxophone is literally like the Midas touch ingredient. How can you go wrong with it? Put it anywhere. This now sounds like a ska song. Remember ska? Yeah. Rare. Yeah. So the super arranged versions are like, you know, and I'm not the kind to just be like to call favorites. You know, I see like beauty in each one. Without the first and original, of course, there would be no arranged. And a lot of people are tied to originals because they're nostalgic and they're original. There's where something came from. But it's okay to admit sometimes something is just done better. Of course, this is my opinion. But to me, it's like night and day. Like, yes, the original was cool, and I was like vibing along with it. But it was just, you know, it was a very simple melody. It was very Yuzo Koshiro. He is very good with simple, catchy melodies in the same realm as like Koji Kondo. And oh my god, I can't remember the name of the Sonic composer, which is driving me crazy. Hold on, it's gonna drive me crazy. Masato Nakamura. I'm sorry. It was gonna bug me, but they're kind of in that same realm of like those kind of that era, and those catchy bass lines, and they're very like, when I say simple, I don't mean that in a, you know, I don't expect anything, but you know, I don't only appreciate like just wild crazy melodies. If anything, I prefer this kind of stuff, like these very simple single note stuff that everyone can enjoy. And like I feel like the songs where stuff you can whistle back, or the things that you can hum and at a live event, those are the ones that really stick with you. And that's kind of what these songs have. So it had all these little formulas of like a really cool bass line, a really bouncy boingy bass, which reminded me of Sonic. And then when the super arranged came in, which, I mean, they really live up to their name. There is a super arrangement of the song. It's quite amazing. But to me, the reason I think they're better is, to me, it's the potential of the song that it could have been. I feel like with the original, usually there's limitations. You know, it's maybe not what the composer had in mind fully. They did the best they could. And whereas like things that come later, like remixes from the same composer, it sounds like what they originally intended. And that to me is what sounds better, because that was the original vision. That's just my guess. You know, I'm not sure if it came years later or it came, I don't, who knows. But either way, the super arranged versions are real instruments. And it just, I don't know, it just sounds cleaner. It sounds like more expressive freedom, more of the personality is showing, I guess. So this one was, it started the same way, but then the guitar came in. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. It's going to be like the same thing, but now on an electric lead guitar. And then soon enough, the saxophone came in, and I love all instruments, but especially like horn, brass, and my favorite of all is the saxophone. It's just like the epitome of cool. It looks great. It's all gold. All versions of the sax sound good. The users always look cool when they're doing it, and it just sounds great. You know, it's a lot of expressive note patterns, the breath control. Everything sounds really cool and smooth on a saxophone. It's just one of those instruments where it kind of stops you in your tracks, and you're like, ooh. You know, and it does that to me every single time. But this one was kind of interesting because it brought this little like piano breakdown in the middle where everything just slowed down, and then, you know, it was building up to this saxophone solo, which sounded very improvised. Maybe a couple takes, but it didn't sound like, you know, he was just staying in key and shredding it. You know, because I heard some dynamic, expressive playing, like it sounded like he missed a note, but just kind of kept going. And then after that, to follow that was another solo, but it was an electric guitar, which was a wah. I've talked about wah a little bit on this channel. It's basically a wah pedal. It's you step on it, and it's literally like a pedal, like a car pedal. To engage it, you like press down on it until it clicks, and then all of a sudden you can control the wave of the sound of the guitar with this foot. Your toe up position or your heel down would be bass frequency, so it's very oh, and then down is the opposite, it's very treble, so it's like oh. So when you do it back and forth, it's like wow, 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 wow. Hence the wah sound, and you can hear what that sounds like on an electric guitar very, very clearly, because that's what that sounded like. It has that very kind of like wet signal, and it's kind of like moving up and down. Either way, it just has all these little things that I like, I enjoy. I'm a very big fan of Etrian Odyssey. It's one of those kind of underdog games on the channel that everyone that comments on these videos are like, oh man, like this is a really cool game, and I feel like no one knows about it when I talk about it. And yeah, it's like on the border of like popular enough, but maybe some people just don't know about it. It's weird, you know. It's one of those. But from an outsider like me, then I've just never heard of it at all. I've never even seen footage. I've only heard a like handful of songs, maybe about 10 now or less. And damn, dude, I don't. It's Yuzo Koshiro, you know, like that's all I gotta say, really. But you know, I'm gonna be honest. I'm always going to be extremely biased if there's a saxophone. You could take the worst song in the world. You could put the Crazy Bus theme, but if you had a sax solo in it, hey, all of a sudden that song is sick. Saxophone is a lifesaver. But I'm not saying that saved this song. The song was already good. It just enhanced it that much more. We went on an odyssey, so to say. If you want to make a request to me, you could do so on Patreon or PayPal. Either are totally fine. Those are guaranteed ways I will check out your song if you don't mind waiting. If you do not want to wait, there is the Platinum Trophy tier on Patreon, which expedites your request to the very top. A big thank you to Justin, Kevin, Moon Knight, DJ Singletone, and your average metalhead for being a part of that. Thanks to everyone that you see. Patreon supporters, thank you so much. Thanks to you for watching and supporting me. And I will see you dudes and dudettes later. More Etrian Odyssey is still to come, thanks to Lord Daddy, our requester. Take it easy, everyone. Have a good day. Peace.